Welcome to another Edge to Edge video where we're going to give you an update and tips on how our vertical garden is going. So we have 3 Greenstalk vertical garden planters and then 2 100-gallon root pouches that we have things planted in. So it's been a little bit over a month. So it's been, I think we're going on 6 weeks now since we first started. And we first started with this planter here. And then 2 weeks later, we added these 2. Okay, so you'll see the difference in growth and how things are doing. We'll start with the first one. So this was planted about 6 weeks ago. So one thing we've learned from the first one is that you should check it all the time. You want to make sure that there's no bugs that aren't supposed to be there, aren't on it, and that, you know, we have these plant supports added, and you want to make sure that they're all in and none of these have moved. They shouldn't move, but sometimes some wind comes along and it might get things out of sort. You want to make sure that you have plenty of water. So one thing we've learned so far is about our soil and the type of soil that we purchased for it. You want to know how that soil is going to work for you. This particular soil does keep things very moist. And one thing that we had happen is we had what we thought are fungus gnats. And the fungus gnats were from the soil being too wet. And what we did to combat that the past week or so was we took it all apart and let everything dry out, and then they just died off, I guess. But that's something, you know, we noticed it right away because we're out here every day inspecting. Now we do still use the insect covers mainly at night, but if we're home and we're here and we're keeping an eye on things, we just let them get some sunlight. So checking the moisture and the water is always a good idea. And this particular soil we have, you know, I think that the roots and everything are real moist, and so we just kind of keep things moist on the top as well. The garden supports are helping a lot, so I'm trying to get, we have lima beans here, so I'm trying to get them on the supports because they like to attach to things and grow that way. We do have a lot of leafy things here, so they're going to have shade for the bottom, so perhaps we switch some things around if that shade ends up causing an issue down here. We have our sugar snap peas. So some of these have broken, so keeping an eye on these stalks, making sure they're not breaking is important. Especially when you're putting the insect covers on too, is make sure you're not catching some of these and breaking the stalks. So we got rid of the fungus gnats. We've also learned a lot about bugs. So when you're a gardener, you're going to be learning about what's good and what's not good for the garden. So I did notice, see if it's still here. I noticed a garden spider in the sugar snap peas, which those are always welcome because they eat a lot of insects that probably don't belong here. There he is. She, let's see. You can see right there. Oh, she's on the move. Okay, I don't want to bother too much, but I want to make sure you get to see. Yeah. So she's on the move, and we have so a couple things that we have. We have nice cherry tomatoes are looking really good here. Of course, our bush beans and limas are doing well. Down here we have kale. So that's looking good. some basil popping up. Our radishes are up here and they're doing well. So all of those things in that first tier are doing well. I do want to point out that when you're putting your soil in, if you notice, we did fill most of this first planter up to the top. I think it was when we got here, we didn't fill it all the way to the top. But even when you fill all the way to the top with soil, you're still going to get some soil that falls down from it packing in and things like that. So that's why you want to make sure you fill these all the way to the tip top, because even these were filled to the very tip top and they still lost, about an inch in the pocket here. So that's another tip. In the root pouches, we have our potatoes, our sweet potatoes. So they seem to be doing well. This is all learning experience for us, so we're just passing on tips as we learn as well. But the leaves look good, they're perky, they're green, so that's looking good. And then this is our carrot pouch here. So the carrots are coming up. So there's a lot of sprouts here with the carrots. And so it's looking good. And then over here we have our zinnias. So they are coming up and can't wait to see some flowers on there. There we have the welcome love bug. So she's always welcome in the garden. So what else do we have here? We have these bugs. So look at this insect here. Does anybody know what that is? Well, I'll tell you, those are ladybug larvae, and they are welcome because they kill or they eat the aphids, which you don't want the aphids. I guess they can be very invasive and destroy your leaves and things like that. So when you're looking at your garden, you do want to check underneath the leaves. What's living underneath there? So look, we have a ladybug larvae, and maybe it's going to eat that other little thing there. We'll leave him go. He is working. But you want to check under the leaves, and you want to make sure that nothing's living there that shouldn't be. But in this stalk here, we have pinto beans. These are these two big stalks here. Some dill is coming up. Our radishes are doing well. We have two pockets there. Down at the bottom, we have all peppers. So we have some coming up, but not much. We have broccoli. Broccoli's coming up fine, it looks like. Haven't seen any activity from the cauliflower. So I don't know if that just takes a while. Perhaps that is coming up from the cauliflower. We have a little piece here of Brussels sprout, and then this is Brussels sprouts here too. So I see two things on this broccoli that don't belong, so I'm going to zip them out of here. We have spinach up top. All right, and then this one has a lot of leafy things at the bottom. One is zucchini. So you want to make sure, so we have a bent stalk here. I'm just going to try to prop it up on this clothespin here and hope that it doesn't break all the way off. We have cucumbers here at the bottom as well. We have carrots in this pocket. These are beets. We got the beets still. And cherry tomatoes here doing well. Red onions have some sprouts here. We have some sage up top. So I think that things are going well. For first timers and learning as we go and just researching and learning from others, especially on the Greenstalk page. The plant supports are very helpful. So we're excited for the update so far. Everything's good news. We got rid of the fungus gnats. We realized some insects are good, some that aren't so good that we got rid of. And we've got a couple more root pouches coming. I want to put together some mint and cilantro and turmeric. So we plan to do a lot more. So hopefully you stick with us to see our updates and you can get some information too. So thanks for watching today, and we'll see you again.